Hello, my name is Donnie, and I'm here with my partner Kayla, and we're going to be discussing today why traditional media is a more reliable source for news than social media. Um, in an era of fake news where even the term alternative facts has itself become an alternative fact, it seems like everyone has an opinion on what's real and what's not. Even Donald Trump thinks that he knows fake news when he sees it. It's been running rampant. It's gotten worse, I think, more recently. And so we're going to be discussing why you should be relying on traditional media sites to get your information.
So I will start off by highlighting the importance of finding reliable information and being able to have access to that reliable information. Um, this can impact choices such as healthcare choices, even can impact your financial investments and educational pursuits. And it enables individuals and organizations to be able to make well-informed choices based on accurate data and analysis. And this also will help reduce the risk later on of more costly mistakes and negative consequences for individuals or organizations. It can also lead to misunderstanding, conflicts, negative outcomes. Um, by verifying the accuracy and credibility of the sources that you're reading or watching. This will help people to make more informed judgments and avoid spreading that false and misleading information.
So speaking of that, I have a personal story about how quickly misinformation can spread. I was on social media and I saw that there was a celebrity couple that had gotten into a public argument online because the male half of the relationship had texted his ex. He then ended up conducting an interview where he explained that he did, in fact, do it. And that clip was going viral, and a lot of people were bashing him for intentionally, purposefully putting her through that. However, those that watched the entire interview were able to point out that he was not doing it alone. He did it in response to her doing the exact same thing. So in this clip, it looks as though he did it unprovoked and was just being a jerk. And in reality, she was participating in it by doing it first. And so that just goes to show how quickly misinformation can spread. And while it's a lighthearted example, it does highlight that misinformation spreads very quickly on social media, and the full story is sometimes not given because of smaller clips that are edited to create whatever narrative the creator would like to push.
And this shows or goes to show why social media news has become such a problem. So, giving a little overview of what we will be talking about, we will be talking about why social media is becoming more of a problem. What will happen if social media starts to take over reliable or traditional news? What needs to be done in order for social media to not take over that traditional reliable news sources, and what can each individual person do today um, to stop helping the spread of social media news.
Exactly. So whether or not you find Donald Trump credible, one thing that he's made abundantly clear is that he has a negative stance on fake news. And whichever side of the fence you stand on as it relates to him, I would have to agree. And I would think that most people would too. Fake news is a huge problem. And so at this point, we're going to get into why it's a problem and later on solutions for that.
So the main thing is why social media news is a problem is because it promotes information and does lack accountability of that information that it is presenting. Social media algorithms prioritize more engagement over accuracy, and this is supported by Zing. The algorithms used by social media platforms are more designed to maximize user engagement, so more of what people want to see more than what people want to hear. Often prioritizing sensational, controversial content over factual information. Um, this can promote misinformation by prioritizing clickbait and emotionally charged content.
And just to piggyback off of where you ended, that is another issue with social media is misinformation. Um, an example that I think of, I'm sorry, that is from Vasogi. Just wanted to cite my source. But an example that I have is in the beginning of COVID, where there was a lot of discord around the vaccine. And I'm a big Nicki Minaj fan, so she decided to get on social media and say that her cousin had lost a testicle from receiving the vaccine, and I remember that spreading like wildfire. Um, she wasn't alone in spreading misinformation via social media during that time. However, it is an example of how quickly, again, you're able to utilize social media to promote um, false facts. That's an oxymoron, but we'll roll with it.
And this misinformation can affect everyone, and this will lead to confusion and division. And this is supported by Penny and Cook. Um, Fake news and misinformation can have more far-reaching effects that impact individuals, communities, and even society as a whole. This can lead to individuals making decisions based on incorrect assumptions that they're getting from social media, which can have negative consequences in their personal lives. And going along with communities, this will just create confusion and discord. It'll make different groups believe conflicting narratives. This can lead to bigger disagreements between different groups of people, mistrust, and even breakdowns in communication.
And furthermore, it also affects our democracy. As you saw with the 2020 election, the amount of people who don't believe that Biden won, and how that was spread through social media, even the QAnon, another example of false information affecting our democracy and making us more divided as a nation. I think that we're probably more divided now than we've ever been before.
And that goes to show the consequences of social media news on public deception. The belief in false information can, by even that example, have harmful real world consequences. And this isn't limited by just borders. This can even go globally. False information about global events or health crises or scientific findings. This kind of information is known to spread very rapidly, especially via social media. And this can impact international relations, public health efforts, and even cross cultural, understanding.
And just socially, it contributes to societal divisions. As I previously stated, we're more divided now than we've ever been. So this is really an issue, and that fact is supported by Penny Cook and Rand as well. Um, so we really need to look deep into how we consume our news so that we can start to alleviate some of these consequences that we face because of it.
And while social media platforms offer a more convenience and speed, um, they often lack the depth and the reliability that we as individuals need. So we are going to explore why traditional media maintains its superiority even in the digital age.
So one thing that I want to highlight is that journalists go through a rigorous process to ensure that the news that you receive is legitimate, factual, and has been vetted so that when they present it to you, that it's the truth or as close to the truth as you can get. This approach helps ensure validity and make sure that you're getting the most accurate information possible.
And this
Um,
also, oh,
I'm
sorry,
sorry. I
go
wanted
ahead.
to add something.
No, go
Sorry.
ahead.
But this also allows them to have a certain level of accountability as well, so that you know that they are held responsible if this information is not accurate. Just want to add that.
And that also goes to show that traditional media provides more in-depth and more well-researched coverage of national news events or just news events in general. Um, Traditional media outlets typically tend to adhere to established journalistic standards and ethics. This includes stuff such as fast checking, verifying your sources, providing context, and even ensuring balance reporting. These standards are often ingrained in culture and history of reputable media organizations.
So traditional media's commitment to accuracy and accountability ensures reliable information. Consumers can also trust traditional media to provide accurate and unbiased information, and traditional media ensures sustainability and independence. So since we've discussed why traditional media is superior, I want to get into what action you can take in order to make sure that you don't aid in the problem.
So, a big thing that us as individuals can do to consume news from more reputable traditional media sources um, is first follow your established news outlets. These outlets often have a very good track record of more accurate reporting, more in depth analysis, and responsible coverage of news events. By relying on trusted sources, each individual can access that reliable information and avoid the pitfalls of misinformation and sensationalism. And supporting local journalism is another big thing. So, your local newspapers, your local TV stations, your local radio stations, and even those news websites. Local journalists play a very crucial role in covering community events, local politics, and issues that directly impact the resident in the area. So, by investing in local journalism, individuals contribute to a more diverse media landscape and ensure that local stories are accurately and comprehensively reported.
Yes, and I just want to reiterate the importance of following your traditional media sources online. They are there now as well. And I just want to make sure that we express that the goal is not to eradicate social media from your life or not rely on it at all. But it is to find balance and use legitimate media outlets to cross-reference the information you may have received online. We are all busy. I get it. So the convenience of social media is probably going to be one that we're all going to take advantage of. However, before spreading information or before you tell someone what you've seen, using those legitimate sources to cross-reference to make sure that you're passing accurate information is important as well.
So overall, traditional media is going to remain the most reliable source of information in the digital age, no matter how far social media goes. Just because traditional media can is straight to the facts, they can fact check, they have the more accurate reporting, they can do those in-depth analysis where people off social media can't.
Yes, and so we've reached the end of our presentation, and I did want to provide you with a quote that kind of embodies everything that we've been trying to convey here today. It's a quote from President James Madison, and it reads, a popular government without popular information or the means of acquiring it is but a prologue to a farce or a tragedy, or perhaps both. Knowledge will forever govern ignorance, and a people who mean to be their own governors must arm themselves with the power which knowledge gives. And that basically is informing you that knowledge is power. And so seeking the truth provides you with knowledge, which gives you the power. And I think that he perfectly summed up everything that we try to say here today. So I hope that we've influenced you to rely on your traditional media sites while also using your social media sites to cross-reference it. And with that being said, that's all we have. Have a great day.